This is WENY News at Noon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for WENY News at Noon. I'm Samantha Potter. Closing arguments are underway in the fourth and what could be final Cal Harris murder trial. And that's where we find WENY's Ross DeMattei, who's live outside the Schoharie County Courthouse and joins us now. Ross?
Good afternoon, Samantha. That's right. The closing arguments are officially underway here in the fourth Calvin Harris murder trial in the Schoharie County Courthouse. And they got underway a little after 10 a.m. as promised. And during that time, we've only heard from one person, and that is lead defense attorney Bruce Barquette. He has done a lot of talking. Everyone has been listening intently to what he has to say. And closing arguments are really about summarizing what has been said over the past month plus during this trial. And what you're looking at right now is actually unprecedented video. This is the first time video cameras have been allowed inside the courtroom during any of the four Calvin Harris murder trials. So this is what we all watched as Bruce Barquette delivered those closing arguments. And he spent much of this morning talking about the blood spatter evidence, obviously a huge key for the prosecution in trying to prove that Calvin Harris did in fact murder his wife Michelle. And he pointed out a lot of inconsistencies in the way that the blood was drawn. He said that the way you're supposed to collect blood samples is to take pictures first and then swab it up second, and he says investigators did quite the opposite. They swabbed first and then took pictures of what he calls diluted blood samples. So he really is trying to throw shade on a lot of the blood samples that were taken. Now, just within the past hour, he has shifted some of his narrative to the motive aspect of this case. What would have driven Cal Harris to allegedly kill his wife the night of September 11, 2001. The court is currently in a brief break, but we are expecting Barquette to pick up his closing arguments and focusing on a lot of the witness testimony we've heard over the past month. And he did tell Judge Mott that we are expecting about another hour's worth of closing arguments from the prosecution, from the defense, and then we'll hear from the prosecution before we can even get to a verdict in this case. But as soon as we do get a verdict, we will bring that to you on WENY News. And coming up at 5:30 and 6 o'clock, we'll have plenty more from closing arguments from both the defense and prosecution. We'll actually hear from both the attorneys coming up tonight on WENY News. You can follow me for live updates on Twitter at @RDMattei WENY. For now, reporting live at the Schoharie County Courthouse, Ross DeMattei, WENY News. Samantha?
Thank you, Ross.